Okay, so today we're going to go visit Anastasia and her house. It'll be virtual, so I thought you'd want a little bit of green, you know. So, anyway, Anastasia is a young mother with two boys, ages 6 and 4, almost 4, and she wants to know and is concerned because her 6-year-old is resistant to school. I don't think this is an unusual thing for that age. So we're going to talk together virtually. She's in PA. I'm down in Alabama, which is awesome. Zoom is awesome. We can meet and talk anywhere. So we'll spend a little bit of time together. I think, and then at the end, I'll do my recommendations that I gave her, and then we'll meet back up in 2, 3, 4 weeks and see how they went for a month or almost a month, and then we'll come back and we'll just go through it. Sometimes we follow each other. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a consultant. I've homeschooled 17 years. My oldest is, what is he? He is 19 and almost 20 in community college. We've always homeschooled. He's the reason we started. We started at I could not afford daycare when I graduated university. I had 2 small babies. Cole was 2 and Juliana was a newborn. So when I looked at the prices, I was like, oh no, I can't do that. So that's how we started. We never looked back. We loved it. And so anyway, so I have a very soft spot in my heart for young mamas, and I want them to succeed, and I want them to feel like they're successful, because a lot of times we can be successful, but we feel like we're not. So anyway, come join me. I'm really glad that you're here. I'm glad you're along for this journey, and I'm glad. So anyway, come with me to Anastasia's house and let's see what we can learn together. And if you want to have a homeschool house call virtually, you can jump on the website homeschoolhousecalls.com and contact me there. But anyway, let's go. Well, hello everybody. It's Homeschool House Calls. This is Devin. We're with Anastacia today, which is one of my absolute favorite names ever. I almost named my son not Alexandra, Anastasia, because it's a Russian name. My husband's Russian, and it means resurrection, which I think is the coolest thing ever. And so they say it Anastasia is how they say it, yeah. But it's the same name. But I love that name. But anyway, so that's just me. Yeah. But we're talking about Anastasia has a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, which I have had those before. They're so fun. This is my favorite age of all the ages to teach and homeschool my kids. This is my favorite age. That's where I started. I mean, I started homeschooling when my oldest was 2. And my favorite years. Those were my favorite years because it's busy, it's hard, but it's so fun. I think they're so fun. And boys, I always wanted more boys. I have a whole house full of girls, 1 boy. So I'm kind of jealous. So tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. Anastacia, I have Levi is 6 and Caleb is 3. And I'm not a COVID homeschooler. I was kind of planning on homeschooling, but I was not homeschooled. I went to public school. My husband was homeschooled.
Oh, neat.
My husband was homeschooled all 12 years.
Oh, wow.
So his mom ran like a mini school in their house.
Oh, neat.
Like she had 6 kids and she just ran the day like a school day. They did the pledge to the flag.
Oh, fun.
She just ran herself a little 1-room schoolhouse. So
oh, fun.
Not my style, but it is nice. I have a note she wrote me at the start of the year that just says, it's even on the hard days, it's still worth it. And I
That's
have
so
that tucked
sweet.
in my homeschool planner, just like to remind myself.
Remind yourself, but that's so nice when you have support.
Yeah. And then I have her daughter. So my sister-in-law is homeschooling her kids.
Mhm.
So, and they're older. They are 9, 11, 13, I
Mhm.
think, in
Yeah.
those age ranges. So I'm like, I've seen that it can be done. And then I have a sister-in-law who has so Levi has a cousin who's just 9 months younger than him. So they're
Oh,
doing
fun.
homeschool this year too. So
So
she has
that's awesome to have some support. When I started homeschooling, nobody in my family homeschooled. So it was kind of a new territory. And I didn't get a lot of pushback, but
Mhm.
every once in a while I'd get a phone call, and one of my parents or a sibling would say, I'm just afraid they're going to miss out. But I think through the years, I don't get those phone calls anymore. They've realized they're not missing out. And my sister started homeschooling, so it
Oh.
even got better. So yeah, it's neat. I love seeing second generation homeschoolers though, and that's pretty cool to see.
Hmm.
I'm starting to see
Yeah.
a lot, and that's kind of cool.
My family's a little skeptical.
Yeah,
My sister's a teacher and she asks me sometimes, like, what are you doing? Like, just,
yeah,
I
and
don't
that
think
can
she
put
thinks I'm
pressure.
crazy. She's just checking up on me.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's that, but that puts pressure, and that's okay because school is not the same as it being at home. It's not quite the same. Now you have littles, you have 6 and 3. I have
Hmm.
I have a 5-year-old, so I kind of know where you are, and I remember the days when I had 6 and 3. It's a challenge. It's a lot of work, even to get. I
Yeah.
mean, even to get that. I mean, 1 hour, just or less of that.
Right. Yeah.
It's a
Well,
lot of challenge.
if he would focus, it would be an hour or
And a
less.
lot of that's because he's a
But
boy. Boys are different.
yeah,
Boys are different.
right.
There's lots of busyness, lots of activity, and really with mine, I started most things later with him. I even reading we
Mhm.
started at about 7 because he was not still. He was very, very busy.
Yeah.
But so anyway, tell us a little bit why you contacted me.
Well, because when I say it's time to do school or let's do our lessons or come to the
Mhm.
table or honestly just about anything, put your plate in the dishwasher. But that's not that's neither here nor there for this call.
But that's
He
part of school. Yeah, that's part of school though. I
right.
mean, it's
Just
part of
ask
it.
it anytime I ask him to do anything, he just pitches an absolute tantrum, like falls on the floor and screams and I'm the worst mother. He doesn't understand why I'm doing this to him. It is a waste of good playing time.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
oh no.
very smart
Yeah.
and like he's intelligent. He has an engineer's mind, which I
Hmm.
don't have. So, but if it can be taken apart, he will take it apart like that. So he just doesn't. Yeah, the little guy, he's all about.
He's all about
Caleb's
learning.
like, I do school? Can I do school? I just started like letter recognition basically
Uh-huh.
and sounds with him in January.
Yeah. So how does
So
Levi work like with games? Do they make him frustrated, or does he enjoy them?
sometimes he enjoys them. He's not a great loser.
Mm.
I don't think any 6 year old
Anybody
really
is no,
is, but
no.
so, but yeah, he'll play games. Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes with Lacey, one thing I've learned because between I've had my 4 oldest who are all much older, and when they started this age, kindergarten, first grade age, there was not apps and there were not iPads and there were not, we had a computer. There would
Hmm.
be there were some games on there, but we had one. So it's not like they were able to sit there. Now we live in a iPad, tablet app
Right.
generation. We'll just call it the app generation. And I find that I have trouble with Lacey. She doesn't want to do paper school. That's what she calls it. She doesn't like paper school, but she's all about apps.
Computer school, yes.
Yeah,
I've kind of ended up doing that a lot more than I'd like to.
yeah, and that was not my plan, but I found that I have her paper school, and on the days that she's resistant, I slip in the apps. I keep a list of what we're learning, and I try to look for YouTube videos, app, games, and that may be an idea to try, is just have a list of what you want him to learn that day. And if he's resistant, flip it over here. Now with her, she has to do 15 minutes of like Teacher Monster to read. And then she
I
gets
love
10.
Teacher Monster.
Yeah, I do too. And the girl probably can read. She just doesn't say she can read. She probably can. I mean, I've heard her read stuff like The Jam is Red when she thinks I'm not there. When I'm not there. Because if I'm there, then I have to read it to her. But if she's there playing and I'm not, that's a whole nother ballgame. But she gets 15 minutes of work, and then she gets 10 minutes of play, and that's worked good with her. I don't know if that would have worked with my son. He was very high energy. I remember at 2 years old, him trying to play a computer game on the computer, and he started hitting the keyboard. So I had to learn real fast. If you do anything that looks like you're angry at the keyboard, then it's off. And that taught him really quick because he didn't want to turn it off. Yeah, he was a lot of fun.
Very frustrated. He gets frustrated really easily.
Yeah, and that's what he would do. So that's what I've done with her. And I don't know if that'll work. I'm also throwing in a lot more games. I just picked up a phonics game called Blah, Blah, Blah by Mrs. Wordsmith. I haven't played it yet, but I've seen good reviews on YouTube about it. I would try a lot of games because what you're trying to do is kind of sidestep tantrum and get kind of sneaky with learning. Because if you're getting what you want out of him and he's not, just until sometimes once they start getting older, it's like you can start reasoning with them. But when they're 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's not so easy to reason because they only see their little world.
Yes.
But, so that's what I do. But what else have y'all got? I know that's the major frustration.
That is the other thing is that I have hey, get out of here if you're going to be noisy.
You're so sweet. You're so sweet.
Distraction. He can't hear you. You're in my earbuds.
He's so sweet.
He is sweet. She thinks you're sweet. He says.
He's like, yeah, I'm out of here.
Oh, he knows it too. The other thing is I struggle with some like health and mental health stuff. So there are even this past week, I had a headache on Monday and Tuesday, and I just get my feet out from under me. And so I need to figure out how to.
And really what you have to do is plan for the worst case scenario. And that may be, I know a lot of people say, oh, don't put them on the computers, but sometimes that's necessary. And that's okay. And that's okay. I don't want you, what I want is for you not to feel guilty about that. Because when you have health issues, I was like, now I work. And there are times I put Lacey on online school. And that's okay. I can't sit around and feel guilty as long as she's getting the information and she's learning and she's not falling behind, then that's okay. You don't sit around feeling guilty because that having disabilities and having mental like depression, having migraines and the depression are probably going hand in hand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They're probably, depression likes to feed on things. And if you're sick, it just makes things hard.
Yeah. I get to the point where I'm like, I don't even know what these symptoms are related to. I just know that I'm not.
Yeah, they just wrapped up. Yeah, and it's hard, but it's okay as long as you're getting. I would have. All you want right now is math, and you want phonics for both
Math and
of them.
phonics.
Math and
Yeah.
phonics, that's it. They
Well,
can
that's about
learn,
all we've
that's
been.
what you can
That
do. And then you can have a
we're kind of
playlist.
at the bare bones already.
Yeah, and you can do a playlist of documentaries like, you know, Magic School, not Magic School Bus. Yeah,
Mhm.
Magic School Bus.
Magic School Bus.
Magic School Bus, just have a playlist of things they can watch. That, I mean,
Mhm.
so much science there. Then on the good days, you can throw in stuff. You know, you can throw in more on the good
Okay.
days. You know, you can
That
throw
makes
in
sense.
an experiment. Right now they're little. Right now I would not even try. I'm like,
No.
you're trying to get routines in there. You're trying
Right.
get the bare minimum because that's really all they need. Lots of
Mhm.
creative play. If they have Legos, they have creative things to do. If he likes
Oh, we
taking
have
things
Legos.
if he likes taking things apart as he gets older, you can buy old computer towers at the Goodwill and hand him a
Mhm.
tool set and let him take it apart.
Oh, he would love that.
Or
He's
anything like that. Just whatever. I mean,
yeah.
that is still learning. And
He does
I
a
call
lot
it
of like he does woodworking with my husband. Like
see, that's brilliant. Find see if you
so
can find
that
some kid videos with woodworking, whatever, you know,
mhm.
feeds his little mind. But I would only do math and phonics. And if you can get online schooling, like
Mhm.
Happy Numbers has, they're giving their product for free until the end of the school year,
Yeah,
and that's math.
we had that one. And this
Khan
past month
Academy for
I got
kids,
Khan Academy Kids. We like that one. And Adapted Mind. I don't
Adapted
that's
Minds,
a paid one. So, but we have the free trial this
Start
month.
Starfall is pretty economical, and that's one that all my kids have loved from way back in the day.
I
And
didn't
it's
know
about
they did more.
they have
I've
a
been
free level,
using
they have a
like
free
the
level, and then they
videos
have
for Caleb for the
yeah, they have
alphabet.
yeah, starfall.com. Yeah, they're awesome. Most of mine learn their letter recognition from there, but it goes up, I think, to first or second grade level, but it's like only
Oh,
about
I didn't realize it
$40
went
a
that
year.
far.
Yeah, it's only like $40 a year. It's not expensive. It can be used for everybody. And that has been one that all my kids have loved.
That would be.
ABC Mouse is always a good one. Some like it, some don't.
Mm-hmm.
Clever Dragons is a paid one
Okay.
that's good. So anything, I mean, so for those bad days, you have something for them to
Gotta have
do,
something.
and there's a variety. I see you.
You know, wait. No. You know, just pop in and out.
He's so good. Yeah, mine like to find where I am. Mine like to find
Oh
where I
yeah.
am. But yeah, I think the main thing is to give yourself permission that it's okay on those
Mm-hmm.
bad days to do online school and not to have the mom guilt, because mom, that's what moms do. We
Yeah.
give ourselves guilt.
Yeah. I have where my ideals don't match up with my reality.
And that's okay.
So I've
It's
got like
okay.
I'm a collector of hold on a second. Do you need white? Can you excuse me for a minute?
Yes. One thing I've been doing, I'm just talking to the camera, so you don't have to worry. I'm not Alexandra. You know what? I always wanted an Anastasia and Alexandra, so I mash them together all the time because I think they're the most beautiful names in the world. So anyway,
My
that's
brother's
random stuff about
Alexander.
me. Random stuff about me, and I always wanted a boy, and I was going to name him Alexander. But anyway, so that's random stuff about me. My husband is Russian
Mhm.
speaking. I'm telling the camera. My
Oh, that's
husband
cool.
is Russian speaking, and when we decided to name the kids, we wanted names that translated into Russian because his mother speaks no English. But she didn't want us to name them Russian names because I don't know why. I think she wanted bragging rights with her family or so in Juliana, I have a Juliana, a Gabriella, Olivia, and Elicia. So that's what I have.
Unacceptable.
But so I would try games on the good days because games is
Mhm.
sneaky, especially if you're having resistance, that's sneaky learning. And I'll send you a couple, I'll send you some, I'll send you a list of what we've got. So board games, card games, on the
Mhm.
good days, which, I know with little kids, games can be frustrating. My teens do not want to play with the 5-year-old. They don't remember their mother playing with them. But I'm like, but game schooling, I would try that for the
Mhm.
resistant days, because I think you get
Okay.
into it.
Well, they're all resistant days
Yeah, but I
at
think the
this
thing is
point.
if you get out of that cycle of the resistance
Okay.
where there's
That
no
helps.
resistance, then maybe there'll be less resistance later. That's what I'd like to try. Like, get out of that.
Okay.
It becomes a cycle, and it kind of like you're teaching him a different behavior. So, and then it's like you'll
Mhm.
do the game schooling, and then maybe you'll slip in a workbook and say, oh, let's do this too, because you're focusing on fun and kind
Okay.
of trying to stop that cycle. You know what I mean? So that
Yeah,
he's
that
not
makes sense.
resistant. So he's not resistant to everything. So I don't know. I just know that eventually, you have to stages are hard. Boys are hard, and you have to kind of figure out what works. But I'd like to try some game schooling and online schooling. Just I'm like, I would like to just find a way
Mhm.
to stop that cycle, and
Okay.
then maybe try to start doing some just routine, not worrying about a schedule. As you talked about, you felt like the part was there was no schedule. I think what you really need
Right.
is routine. Routine is like
Yes.
the rhythm of your morning, regardless or no matter what time you wake up, is what you do. And I would probably work on routines. But so that's where we'll start.
Yeah,
That's
that
where
makes
we're gonna
sense.
start, mamas. Yeah, just like start kind of we have some we have one or two workshops in the group, and I'll tag you in those. But I think what you're really looking for
Okay.
is
Thank
not so
you.
much schedule as routine. It should feel natural. It's like, okay, you get up, this is what we do, this is what we do next, this is what we do next. And you can find little routine
Okay.
cards where they see it, and maybe give him control
Yeah.
so that he sees what's next. You can even get them like their
Oh.
pictures, and I'll send you
Yeah.
some.
I have a pocket chart and stuff. I
Yeah, and
have
that
I am like a resource collector.
I am too.
I have too many things,
Yeah, kind of like, let's see.
but
And then then he'll see it and he knows it. And I mean, I guess maybe building toward him
yeah.
seeing it and doing it on his own. Not that
Okay.
that will happen this month, but it's just, this is what happens
Right.
next. This is what we do next. And then it becomes kind of a routine, because I know little, they like to be independent, but they're not.
Mhm.
And that may be some of it.
No.
He's not independent. He doesn't want to be independent. At least he likes to be up into a
Well,
certain.
he would, yeah, he would really. This summer they kind of were a little bit feral. Like I was I had a major depressive incident episode this
Yeah.
summer, and I was like basically just
Yeah.
useless. I was like an adult present. So like anything that I had accomplished with routine or anything before
Yeah.
then, it just went out
Yeah. And
the
it just has
window.
to be
So
rebuilt. It just has to be rebuilt.
need to
And that's okay. It happens.
need to figure
It
out.
happens
I need.
when there's depression, when there's major sickness, because I mean I've been there. Um
Mm-hmm.
I went in 1 year I had 2 pregnancy losses and a gallbladder removed. That was my year my
Oh
kids were
goodness.
feral, because it was a whole year. It was a rough year, but I mean you
Mm-hmm.
get past it and you reestablish stuff, and it just takes a little bit of time, and it'll be okay.
Okay. So I think I know the answer to this, but with like little people, am I better off to start like with routine, like to start small, or just to be like, okay, guys, this is what we're doing.
I would
We're
start
doing
small.
like,
I would just something real gentle, just like the morning. Okay, we get up, we get dressed, we have breakfast. I would look at some stuff like maybe Invitation to Play. I don't know if you've seen those. I'll send you a link.
mm-hmm.
But maybe, you could sit, I mean, it would, at least you could sit something out. They can play at the table while you're fixing breakfast, then, and just work on
Okay.
having a gentle routine.
You're
I know you
you're
said you,
assuming things. We we don't sit down together for breakfast at
well,
this
no, mine,
point.
mine don't either.
They
I
just
mean, mine don't either, but yeah, mine don't.
they
No one
wake up
sits down and eats
hungry. They
together
just
here. We are a working
ugh.
household. Nick works out of the house and he tends to use my dining room table, which is also my kitchen table. And so I'm constantly saying, can you move this stuff off the table? We would like to sit and eat. So no, we have a working house and we both work out outside. We both work outside.
Mhm.
I mean, inside the home. So we're both working here and all the kids homeschool here, and it is
Mhm.
not a big house. So my
Feel
kids,
that.
they get up, they get their breakfast, they get moving. Lisa
Mhm.
I usually have something on the table for her to play with. Then while she
That's a
eats
good
breakfast,
idea.
that's what she does. I lately I mean, I outsource everything. I bought kits and they have little toys in them, and they may not be best for the 3-year-old. Maybe, you never know. 3-year-olds can surprise you, but it's got Play-Doh, it's got little toys. And the last one I got her was the ocean, and then I got an ocean book. And so I sat it all out there. And I
Okay.
mean, 2 weeks, that's all she played with in the mornings. So
Hmm.
she would do that. I would,
Okay.
usually I finished most of my work by the time she gets up, and then I would move and get her breakfast. She's playing. And sometimes she would have the YouTube Kids on at the same time. So, so
It's
there's
PBS
an
kids at our
iPad. Yeah,
house.
yeah, she likes the PBS Kids app, and she has an iPad that's all hers.
I have no clue what he just said to me.
She has an iPad that's all hers. So it only has her app. So it has PBS Kids. There's YouTube Kids, but that's one that I tend to. Well, I have that kind of
Yeah.
hid, so that's one I open up for her. And so those are some of the stuff she does in the
Mhm.
morning, just depending on the morning. And then school, on the days she'll do school with me, we do school. And then on the days she won't, I have a list of things for her to do. So that's what we do. But anyway, your camera
Yeah, my phone just
went
turned
crazy.
off.
Yeah, phones will go crazy.
It decided it didn't like me anymore. I could still
That's
hear
okay.
you.
Good. But
It
that's
lost
that's
itself.
some of the
But
stuff that we do. I just kind of, we have a gentle thing now with my teens. They get up. My teens sleep 10 to 10. Even Lacey will sleep 10 to 10. That's just how she
oh,
does.
that would be
It
lovely.
did not happen when my other ones were little. I was up at 6 when they were little. But for some reason, she thinks she's a teenager in a small body, and she does what they do. And that's been since she got here. So I go with it. Although she's kind of
That's
changing.
convenient.
Yeah, she's kind of changing right now. I get up about 7 every day and work, and she's gotten to where she'll wake up at 8. She comes to find me.
Mhm.
So I think she's just kind of wanting where it's just me and her. I think that's what's going on. I don't know. She's kind of switching it up. So, which is not good for my work schedule, because this doesn't work for me. I'm like, go back to bed. This doesn't work for me. Keep that 10 to 10. I like that.
Yeah.
But I've never had one do that before. So the other ones, they were up at 6 when they were little, and it was all day long
Yeah,
until
that's
they went to sleep. And I had a rule when they were little. They were not allowed to talk when they went to bed. But when they were very, very little, we had a teeny tiny house, and their bed was in my bedroom. And so when we went to bed, I did not want to hear they talked from the moment they woke up to the moment they went to sleep. And I was like, when we went to bed, I was like, I'm done. There is no talking in your bed. So I was a mean mommy. I was mean. But there were 4 of them. I was outnumbered.
oh, that's oh, I can't imagine.
They were all together. They were wonderful. I miss it, but I don't. Older mamas always say,
Mhm.
"Oh, it goes so fast, you're going to miss it." I miss it, but I don't. I mean, really. Let's be truthful here.
Yes.
We miss them being little. We don't miss the work. Okay, that's being
Yeah.
honest. Yeah, because it is
We
work.
just put Caleb got a big mattress, a full twin size mattress this
Oh,
weekend. And we bunked the bed. So Levi's in a top bunk and Caleb has
That's what we
a
did
big
about that
mattress. And
age.
I'm like, oh,
We moved to a new house about, my oldest was about 6. We got a bunk bed at that time. I remember
mhm.
thinking they were so little. How can I put them up on that top bunk? They're gonna fall. But they
My
survived.
husband has there's like an 18-inch space where where the ladder goes up and everything else is railed the whole way off.
That's good.
But
Yeah.
he doesn't toss around in his sleep. I think he's like, I'm not taking chances. I'm like,
Oh,
okay.
that would be very well. But I've had my 5-year-old dive off the bed, the top bunk before. I mean, she's survived. She hit the floor like she did not die. But it would be sad in the middle of the night.
He was jumping off the bed the other day on purpose. So, oh, that would be scary.
That would be scary. That would not be a way to wake up in the middle of the night to fall off the bed. That would be sad. But anyway, okay, so we'll try some game schooling. I'm going to send you a list. I'm going to look up some ones that
Yeah,
I've
let me just see what I have.
and try some online schooling when he's resistant.
Should I try paper school first and then switch?
I would.
Or...
I would ask him. I say, okay, let's do school. But if he's
Okay.
resistant, you can slip that because I think if you break that cycle of him being resistant, I think he'll realize because he'll be learning. You're just kind of
Mhm.
breaking that cycle of resistance and seeing how
Okay.
it works. That's what I would like you to try. And just taking a deep
Yeah,
breath
that's
on
doable.
those, and then take a deep breath on those bad days and know it's okay just to do online school. It's okay. As long as you're paying attention and you know he's moving forward and making progression,
Yeah.
then you can go, I'm okay. Because we all have to plan for the bad days. And that's one thing mamas are not always good about doing, especially homeschool moms, is planning for those bad days and planning for everybody in the house, even the 3-year-old, because just as soon as you don't, they're going to want to do school. And then I'll send you a list of some creative play ideas, things that they can do and learn on their downtime. Because you don't want them to spend all day on an iPad.
No.
But I'll get you a write up, and mamas, I will once I have it, I will do a small segment and put it inside this video too, so you'll see. Because I know somebody will ask me, but I'll get that wrote up, and then we'll meet maybe in a week to 2 weeks and see how it's going. Okay.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yay. Okay, mamas, we're going to end this segment. We'll come back a week, 2 weeks. Me and Anastacia will schedule that, and we'll come back and we'll show y'all what we've done. Okay, I'm gonna turn the video off. Okay, so we're going to talk about recommendations for Anastacia. I love her spirit. I can see a lot of myself in her. I was the young mama with anxiety and untreated anxiety. And I know how overwhelming it can be and how concerning it can be. When I talk to moms with chronic health issues, my first recommendation is always that they make sure they're getting proper self-care, proper treatment. Make sure that they're looking, making sure everything's handled the way it needs to be handled. Moms are really, really, especially young moms, are really, really good about denying their self and they're giving to their children. There's nothing wrong with that. I adore my children, but if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of them. So anytime I talk to a mom with this type, and I talk to a lot of moms like this, I've been this mom. Make sure that you're pursuing a diagnosis. Make sure you're communicating with your doctors. Make sure you're taking care of yourself and meeting your needs, and that is okay. The second thing is to always have a plan for the bad day. We often make plans as homeschoolers for the good days. We make a schedule, we make a routine for the good days, but we forget about handling the bad days. And we need a plan in place. We need to know what, so that we're not defaulting into chaos. So having some kind of tentative plan and giving yourself permission to pursue that plan. It's okay to not have all the answers and not be able to do all the things because you have a chronic health issue. This is perfectly acceptable. The second thing is to remember that when they're so young, anything you think they're missing, it will come back around. So your main things to handle is math and language arts or phonics, depending on their age, because those two things build on each other. So that is the baseline of what you need to handle. For the good days, you can have curriculum and you can work on curriculum. On the bad days, you can have a YouTube playlist and a list of apps that are safe for them to do school. I do this with Lacey. She's kind of resistant with school. So we have paper school on the good days and we have a plan for the bad days that she thinks that she's just having fun. So we have one tablet that has all the stuff, nothing else is on there, and it's just the stuff she's allowed on. So that is one way we handle that. Your second recommendation is connection. Connection, when you have a good connection with your children, a good working relationship, and I think you do. I really think she does. Um, it makes everything else easier. I learned with my teenager when he went through that bumpy stage where they begin to get, hormonal and hard to deal with. And toddlers are about the same. Really, boys are all the same. I learned that laughter went a long way to diffuse situations. So work on connection. I would think with school, because we talked about your oldest being resistant to school. I think you just have to plan for the days that he doesn't want to. Game schooling is a very great option. You can cover a lot of skills, and I'm not talking about just apps. Apps are good. I love apps. Lisi is an app girl. That's really what she wants. But we're also throwing in a lot of board games and puzzles. Lots learning there. I just bought her a USA puzzle and nothing major. I'm not like requiring her to learn anything, but we're putting it down, which gives very good, fine motor skills, having to put those pieces in the right place. But I'm naming the states as we do it. And there are other puzzles you can get, like the world puzzle, ABC puzzle, number. I mean, there's this is just like a 51 piece floor puzzle. So I would plan for the bad days, have a plan, have some games you can pull out. There are lots of apps with math that are great, and I have no problem using apps for math. Khan Academy is free. Khan Academy Kids is awesome and goes up to age 6. Those are free. Happy Numbers is free right now. They have a for the rest of the year. That is a math curriculum app. She loves that one. Anything by Dragon Box, those are great, but you can find lots of board games on math. You can Google on YouTube. There is a Facebook group called My Little Poppies Game Schooling. They are wonderful with their suggestions. I highly recommend that for anybody, for any games. So I would add lots of games because then there's going to be less resistance. And you don't have to do all of them in one day. You can just pick and choose. I would still offer regular school, but maybe not make it a huge deal. Maybe have a morning binder where they're only seeing one page at a time. And if you get it done, that's great. But if you don't, then, no big deal. It could be as simple as dollar store workbooks, just offering it if it's there. What you're working toward is he's learning the information, but you're working toward not having resistance for school. you may have to do game schooling for a while, and it's an awesome way to learn. As long as they're learning information, it's awesome. So, and as they get older, they get a little bit more easier to reason with. But I would start there because we want to kind of we want to reroute that resistance so that there's not resistance to the word school. There's not resistance to you and moving forward. So I would like to try that for at least 2 to 4 weeks. And then we'll meet back up and see how it worked and see if we need to tweak anything. But those are my top recommendations for now to work on those. And then we will go back and we will meet with Anastacia again to see how it's working and what we need to tweak. So, anyway, I had a wonderful time with her and I'm looking forward to seeing how things change. See y'all soon. Bye.
Aren't they the sweetest little kids? I think they're so cute. I always wanted more boys. I only have one. I have 4 girls, and so I'm like always a little bit jealous when somebody has more than one because my son was so cute. I love that age. It's my favorite age. But anyway, that is our house call for today. I'm glad you came along. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell down below, and you can find me if you want to contact me besides YouTube on homeschoolhousecalls.com. And see you soon. Bye.